Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are. For me, it is 1 o'clock. So we will get rolling. My name is Andy Kirkpatrick. I am joined by Tim Balzer and our good friend Jerry Smith. We are part of the MAS PSHC Industry Engagement Team, and we are thrilled that you are here for the multiple award schedule industry partner training. I will be doing this solo today. So this is not our usual MO. Pastavia is St. John is our usual lead on this, and so she is taking leave. So I'm here with you. So I will do my best to fill her shoes and do the best that I can. So again, we are so happy that you're here. There's a little bit more information on the presentation. Remember, purely just guidance here and educational informational purposes. You are the experts in what you do. You are the experts in your company. We are just here as guides, as really Sherpas, if you will, hoping to get you to the top of the mountain. So we are not we are not the ultimate word on things. And also, one thing that I always like to make sure that that I make very clear: anything having to do with the contract, you must go through your contracting officer directly. Those are the signatures on the contract, and so those are the folks that you have to go through to in order to administer your contract. So none of this here is supposed to take the place of any contracting advice that you get from your contracting officer or any other contracting officer for that matter. I'm not a contracts guy. I'm a communications guy. I'm a marketing guy. So we can bring up and we can make you aware of a lot of things, but this is not the purpose of this is not to give you to work the actual contract terms and conditions. We have a lot of hyperlinks Pastavia put into this, which are very, very helpful. This will also be recorded and linked to the YouTube playlist afterwards. And make sure if you do have any questions to use the Zoom Q&A feature. Here is the agenda for today. And so you can read that out there real quick, real easy. We've got about about 23 slides for you, so we will definitely get you out in time. And I'll also make myself available afterwards for any questions that you did not want to bring up in the group, and make sure that you are so anything that you have, it will be identified and addressed. Hopefully, if not now, as soon afterwards as we possibly can. And so if I can't answer it or Jerry can't answer it or Tim can't answer it, we will get it answered. But hopefully we'll be able to take care of it. Here's the MAS contract overview. In case you were not aware of this, it is a 5-year award with 3 5-year options. They're not guaranteed. These are if options. You have to reach certain levels and be have certain levels of success in order to keep your contract. Also need to be make sure that you are a good partner doing everything that you say that you can be or it will be, and all those good things. And so a little bit on how we organize. We do 12 large categories, and then there's subcategories of those, and it requires commitment and effort. So something to something to think about. And when we get on there, and when we do ask you for your participation and getting on contract, some of these main factors, the main influence sometimes can be lost. And so we like to remind folks of the reason why they got on the schedule in the first place. And so make sure that those are the main factors that guide you and really inform you moving forward. And so a lot of the times this kind of gets lost. And so we always like to remind folks of that. Here are the requirements after getting on the MAS contract. Again, you can notice the hyperlinks there, the action timeline and clause to back this up. Again, these are all part of the welcoming package that you had. Please make sure that you read those. And so here are, as we said, talking about the options, these are the requirements that will make sure that you do get your contract advanced and optioned. And of course, the contract compliance piece, make sure that you are maintaining in SAM, you're doing your business registration annually. There's a lot, and maintain the price list on the VSC, which is the Vendor Service Center. A very, very important place to know. That's on the right-hand side there, just about near the bottom on the lower right-hand side. And make sure that you stay intact or in touch with those folks as well. And they are a great resource to keep you on track. Again, quick reminder, if there are any questions, I think if we have Tim or somebody, let me know if there is a question popping up. I'd be happy to stop and address that. We got a small but mighty group today, so it won't be too chaotic if I have to stop and take care of the Q&A. So here's what to expect when we do contractor assessment, the IOAs. I know they are changing that term, but for today, we'll call them the industry operations advisors, and so those are the folks who will meet with you not as a gotcha. So a lot of times folks will put a little more extra stress into meeting the IOA. This is not meant to be a stressful thing at all. It is meant to be a reminder of what it is and what you have agreed to, making sure that you are being compliant. If you're not being compliant, we'll get you compliant. We'll work with you. We'll bring you to where you need to be. But the contractor assessment really assesses where you are as in relation to what our expectations are of you. And so when there is a chasm between there, when there's a little gap in between there, then it's the IOA's job to make sure that we put everything in place that will allow you to get to the place where we need you to be. And so very, very important. And it's very important to be as transparent as possible with the IOA too. Again, this is not a got you kind of operation here. This is another one of the resources that GSA has to make sure that you are putting yourself in position to be as competitive as humanly possible. So, a lot of the make sure that the scope of the contract is compliant, the pricing, prompt payment discounts, labor qualifications, all these things that are essential pieces to the pending result. And so it might not be something that is every day. It is a common practice for you. If that is the case, then make sure that you are reaching out to the vendor support center, making sure you're reaching out to the to us as MAS PSHC representatives as well, in order to make sure that you are doing all the things that you should be and could be doing. Here's the clause applicability matrix that's on each side. This is the e-library. Just say e-library in case you have not. Hopefully you have you've been there. But down on the right hand side is that MAS clause applicability matrix, and that makes sure that you are getting up to speed on those things. Mods are MAS mods are the modifications that are initiated on the GSA side. We will obviously let you know about that. If you are not and on the Insight, please get on the GSA Insight. There's always notifications of that. And all of those wonderful things that you can see down the left-hand side of your screen. But the mods are a key part to that. And so the MAS mods are the ones that GSA does, and then there are the mods that you can go to your contracting officer. and get those done. So as you can see on the left-hand side, we regularly update the mass solicitation, and then you can see on the right-hand side, it's the two types of those modifications that we send out there. So sometimes it does have to be individually reviewed and accepted, and there's some changes that do not impact current industry partners or contract holders. And these are the vendor initiated modifications that I just mentioned there. This is making sure that you have the right SINs on your contract, making sure you have the right contact information, the right negotiator, all those the authorized negotiator, all those great things, the permanent pricing adjustments, any elite address changes, all that kind of good stuff. You need to go through your CO in order to make sure that it gets put up there. I know I've dealt with in the last couple of weeks a lot of folks who are small business certified, but it's not showing up on their e-library. This is where the modifications make sure that you are working with your CO in order to get these things correct, and so that people know where to find you, people know how to find you, and they know they're talking to the right person. And here's where to look for the mass mods. This is in the FAS website there, and so this kind of gives you a little visual on where and how folks can get things taken care of. So on this one, for instance, the mass reflex or mass refresh number 20 over there, waiting for the vendor response. That's you. And a little bit backdated here, but for our purposes here today, you can see kind of what's there. You can see the mod completed as opposed to the overdue ones. So don't be overdue. Again, another friendly reminder to use the Q&A if necessary. And so here's the marketing piece. As I kind of said at the top, what I always like to remind folks is that you are the expert in what your company does, what services you offer to the government. And so as far as market research goes, we can kind of help you based on what has been successful in the past, what folks have done that have worked. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you are your best advocate for your service. And so we can help you market wise, hopefully trying to get in front of people, trying to get the word out in there, and try to get you as competitive as possible. But we are not advertising agencies, and we are not experts in crafting that message. So it's very important that you yourself craft those messages and then supplement them with with the resources that that GSA offers. And the GSA training, a lot of great hyperlinks there. Forecasting for contracting opportunities, huge things. We do a very, very good job of working with the Oasis folks. We are working to expand that out and try to do a lot of what they call reverse industry days. So it's instead of the agencies kind of calling on or being a forecasting of those contracting opportunities. Hopefully we get a group of vendors in there to talk to agencies and be able to get in front of folks and explain what different solutions they can offer. So we're working on that, but right now Oasis does a great job of it. So be aware of the great events that Oasis puts on. It'll always be in the GSA training and events. So there's the hyperlink there. That'll get you into the schedule for the forecasting of contracting opportunities, and that's a really a main thing for what it's all about. Because if we can get or at least identify the needs hopefully before they can issue the RFI, RFQ, we can kind of educate them and kind of guide them through the process. Here's a slide on marketing the scheduled contract. Here's again some suggestions for that marketing and attend those industry days, as I said before. Uh, and teaming opportunities is also a great way of getting in. So if you are frustrated by not being kind of chosen, I know a lot of times incumbents are the ones that do have a leg up. They do have a better opportunity. They have that familiarity that really helps them get the business. And so a lot of times teaming with an incumbent will be able to get you some great exposure and have a different way of making sure that you are getting in front of the folks that you want to get in front of. And so uh, that is really based. And of course, you always want to make sure that your POC is there and make sure that they are the ones to be the points of contact. So we can't tell you who to put as the POC, but the more control that you have over that yourself, the better off that you're going to be. Yes. Yes, we will definitely be providing the slides for this afterwards. Absolutely. Here's how to research the federal market. As you can see down the left-hand side, these are free. I said free data tools here, and so the request for and kind of the request for information help. So right down the left-hand side, those small business resources. What they call the Apex accelerators, also very good. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we move forward. USA Spending, a fantastic website for really figuring out who is doing the activities in your chosen field. And so the procurement forecasts always good. It's been tougher in the last couple of years, to be honest with you, with the continuing resolutions, with the budget funding, not funded, all those kind of things. It gets to be a little tricky. So I really, really, really highly suggest doing this because this is the only guidance or only really forecasting tools that we have. So it's not 100% reliable, but it is the best thing that we have out there and the best thing that we can do because funding's going to come, funding's going to go. So in order to make sure that you are getting ahead of the game, make sure you are reaching out to these and being having them bookmark them, make sure that they are at your fingertips. So as we're moving through this, make sure that you are making a mental note of which of the platforms that you're using as well. SAM.gov is a great resource. Really, and also directly. What I tell a lot of my folks to do is pick out hopefully a locally, geographically local installation or organization that you want to get involved with, and make sure you're accessing that public information that's out there, and make sure that you are trying to get in touch and get in front of those people. So make sure that you are being as proactive as you possibly can be in order to be heard. And so when the government goes out and has these issues, these challenges that are out there, they're looking for the quickest, most efficient, and effective way of getting those problems solved. So make sure that you are positioning yourself as the go-to person for that specific challenge that you can address. And so in order to get through there, a lot of public access, publicly accessible ways of doing it. And I am a big fan of all of them. SAM.gov's wonderful as well. The BSC, always a great resource. And make sure that you are, it's really, really important, the title of this slide, because as a GSA employee for almost 20 years now, I can tell you I've seen a lot of capability statements and not a lot that are engaging, not a lot that are intriguing, not a lot that really reach out to me and go, oh my gosh, I should really pay attention to this. And a lot of times it's because our industry partners, you all, are understandably really wrapped up in exactly what your service does. And so it's less about what I've seen is that it's less about what problems you can solve for the government. So when you are putting that capability statement together, make sure that you are doing something that is directed, absolutely laser focused at your audience and really answering that question, what's in it for them? Why is that important? Why is it important that you have level 3 engineers? Why is it important that you have these levels of consultants? Why is it something that these government agencies should be paying attention to, and why should you be chosen out of the crowd? So the easiest way to do that is to make sure that you are that you can be found, and when they do reach out, that you are receptive and accessible and really cooperative with the government agency. So you want to give them the capability statement as a real statement for them to follow up on. They should be at the end of that capability statement, they should want to reach out to you and make sure that they are working with you, that they are partnering with you through this process. And you can all put that in the capability statement. So please don't take the shortcuts on the capability statement. Make sure that you're reviewing it, you're updating it. That's another pet peeve of mine is that there's a capability statement or group there, and it's clearly has not been updated in 10 years or so. It's your business card, and it's your face to the customer. So it should it's absolutely essential that it reflects where you are currently in the life of your company. And make sure if you do need assistance on that, the Apex accelerators, great resources. Those are the old small business folks that they kind of changed their name to Apex accelerators. They're great for really getting together and seeing great capability statements. So you're out there and you can see somebody else's capability statement, maybe take some cues from them, maybe learn a little bit more about how to properly place your company in the overall scheme of things. And so now that we've gotten we're properly marketed, we've gotten in front of folks, we've done the work, and we got the sale, or we haven't done the work yet, but we have got the sale. So next piece is to figure out if it's a mass sale or not. So you can see with the visual here. Again, this is another great resource for you after this this quick meeting to kind of go and review. This is also something to work through with your contracting officer and make sure that you are following along. So as you can see down the left-hand side, order under review, is the customer eligible? Are they, is it a government agency? Is it all those kind of things? And then if it's not, sometimes it's not reportable, but make sure that you are taking the time to figure out what can be mass and what isn't mass. And if you need any help with that, that's when you reach out to the vendor support center. It's when you reach out to your contracting officer, all of the contacts who reach out to us too as well. And then you can analyze, the schedule with sales query. A big fan of the D2D website that we have. It's really our way of trying to assemble all of the different data sources that are out there and make sure that we are kind of consolidating everything into a place where we can access it. And so as you can see, those are the scheduled sales query plus SSQ plus vendor analysis on the right-hand side. And then you can see performance there just to make sure that you are in the right playground and that you are properly positioned in order to maximize your sales to the best of your ability. And the big thing. So I've been talking for about 25 minutes. We save the most important for last. Make sure you keep your POCs updated. So many times when we reach out to folks, we get the email bounce back. We're not able to get a hold of folks. There's a lot of different reasons for that. The first and that big that first bullet point is so huge. The POC absolutely should be a company employee. We love consultants. There's a lot of consultants on our schedule. Maybe we have some today. Who knows? We love consultants. However, it's been our experience, and it's over and over and over again, that when the POC is the company employee, it's a lot the process is a lot cleaner and a lot quicker. And so I always suggest that the POC should be a company employee. And then when the employee is, if the employee is getting overwhelmed with responses or questions or any of that, then you can kind of bring in a consultant to help deal with that. But there's a lot of times, and I can see where the consultants would like to have that kind of control, but we strongly suggest that the POC should be a company employee. So that means, unfortunately, that you have to stay on it and to adjust it, because employees come and go, they switch out of offices, all that kind of stuff. So it is a little bit more it's a little bit more of an effort. However, it is very important to do, and it's a way to make sure that you are staying up to date on all the information that you should. And then the maintain piece to it, eLibrary, eBuy, the vendor support center, absolutely huge in that, in that they are your best friends. And so the great thing, excuse me, about the vendor support center is that if they can handle it in there, and it has to go up to that next tier of customer service, we get pinged. And so it's the more complicated stuff. As it gets more complicated, the vendor support center really accesses all of the customer facing folks that we have here at GSA. But most of the time they can handle it on tier one, and those are the good stories. And make sure, of course, SAM.gov and FPDS, right? ESERS and FSERS.gov. So that's it. I was instructed to do 30 minutes, and so I did 28. So we're all good. I'm at the top, Andy Kirkpatrick. Let me put in my my contact information as well in the chat and send it out to everyone. If there is any questions or you need any follow-up on there, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. There's that. And otherwise, I'm going to hang out for as long as you want, and or as long as you need me, and I can answer any questions that you might have. So again, thank you very much for your time. Tim, thanks a million for your support. Jerry, thank you for being here. Much appreciated. Yeah, we're here for you. Don't feel like you're alone. A lot of times GSA, we ask you to jump through the different hoops and do different things. And what my job is, and what Pastavia's job is to really make sure that you feel engaged in the process. And so it's a great reminder of if our industry partners don't succeed, then GSA doesn't succeed. And so that's always a message I love to send out there, and make sure that you are utilizing all these free resources and all of these wonderful ways of getting your company in front of the people who need to hear your message. So thank you. And if you'd like, you can leave. If not, I've got a Q&A. We'll be sending putting all this out on and sending these out to folks, I believe, in a couple of days. Past Davia, like I said, is on leave, so give us a few extra days to put those on, but we'll also be on the YouTube channel as well. So that's all for me.